For now, we'll do a priest deck. I'd say just getting a Snorlax is a win. Yeah, it can be seen in that vein. I'm gonna take Raised Dead, which I love, and pass these 2 cards, which I hate. Love Dragon Studies. I think it's a lot better than Death. Although I would like to have a Death, but not over Draconic Studies. I like Penance. Creepy Painting can be okay too. I like to have things like Penance or Smite or Brittlebone before I take the Creepy Painting or Shadow Word Death. It's just kind of hard when you're forced to make trades to get something, as opposed to being able to just like shoot something through a taunt. You know, shoot a Stormwind, a 7/2 Stormwind champ around a taunt instead of having to trade off your 2/2 or whatever. Double Draconic. This is a nice start, I will admit. A Savage Brute. I watched a few minutes of a big official Pokemon card tournament. Some of the cards seemed cool, and it seemed like their decks had cool plans, but it's hard to follow, and it seemed like the majority of the match was shuffling between tutor effects. I don't play Pokemon, but I'm under the impression that a lot of it is like, your deck is like 85% trainer cards that just like draw your whole deck. Like draw, tutor, draw, tutor, and then you have like 1 or 2 Pokemon that actually do things. I like both of these, but I think Keymaster's just pretty straightforward. You just plop him down and get something. If they can't kill him, you win instantly. If they can kill him, sometimes you still win if you hit like, you know, their Proto Drake. They take their whole turn playing Proto. You play 2 Protos, right? The next turn. Ahmet's very good too, though. I think Ahmet's better than Gandling. We're gonna take Nether Spite. Turbo Blastoise deck. Get a Blastoise out on turn 2 and then just waste them. I like it. I hit 2 Stoneborn Generals with Keymaster. The card is nuts. Yeah, Keymaster's insane. And it's like, it's a pretty fairly statted minion. So like a 7 mana 6/8 draw 1 card, gain like 1 or 2 mana is still a good card. That's kind of like the low end possibilities for Keymaster are still so strong. And then like, you know, again, sometimes it's just 7 mana, win the game. Power Word, I like Power Word a lot here. Problem is we have a lot of spells that sort of do nothing, but the card is very strong. I actually think that this is an issue that you can, a trap that you can get caught in playing Priest specifically, where you have like all these good removal spells and good buffs, and then none of them line up. So you have a Death and they have, you know, a Lake Thresher, and then you have a bunch of Draconic Studies, and then you're dead on turn 7. Or you have a bunch of Power Word Feasts and stuff, but you have no minions to play them on. That being said, it's early and I'm conscientious of that fact, so I'm going to try to craft a deck that doesn't outright get destroyed by the fact that it has a bunch of good removal and a bunch of good buffs, but no way to utilize them. We're going to slam Fire Tree, which just seems great when you have 2 Draconic Studies already. Identity Theft, like this is another one. I think there's an argument to have taken whatever this was up against and like a Moshog just to make sure you have relevant things to play, but instead I'm gonna build the greediest deck of all time and find a way to try to make it work here. Like it might just be Insight or Penance because you need to draw cards that can be put on the board, but at the same time Penance is cool. Shadow Word Death is cool. All right, the other 20 cards in the deck now need to be minions that do things. We're gonna take Brew, which I'm a fan of Brew. If you watch a lot of Redbeard, I like Brew. It's a lot easier to take Brew over Poo, literal Poo. But we got Nether Spite, we got Fire Tree. That's fine. I really like Pearl Tusk also. Great Raised Dead target. Red Herring's good, but it's expensive, man. I'm gonna take Pearl Tusk. And I think I'll just take Mysterious Visitor. The other cards are kind of bad. Visitor can copy cards from Identity Theft and Alabaster. We can make the 1-cost card cost 0. I miss Sloshed Red. Oh, we'll have a Whiskey and a Cola soon. Let's grab Murlocula here. And I think we're gonna pass the Power Infusion for that, what we talked about. Just, it's better to have, I think, a halftime Scavenger and a Power Word Feast than have a Power Word Feast and a Power and have nothing to put them on. Surrender is terrible. Don't take that card. You need more 2-drops? I would say, too, this deck, it's deceptive how many 2-drops we have. We actually only have 1, 2, 2-ish, 3-ish. You have kind of like maybe like 3 real 2-drops. If you don't have a dragon, then you're not going to keep this or this. So right now we really only have 2 cards we can play on turn 2 and develop the board. So I would happily pick up 3 or 4 more 2-drops, but wand makers and, you know, mysterious whatever, some crap 2-drops with stats. So I'm very happy to pick up a wand maker. Very happy to pick up a Cathedral of the Atonement. Would love a Steward, but it's not even close. It's not even in the discussion. Easy second Historian over second Death here. We would like to pick up a drafted dragon, I think. But, I mean, we'll keep Draconic Studies probably in our opener. Like, this 2 is actually quite good for us. Sticky 2 that can hold a buff here and hold a buff here. Just don't think we really want a second Murlocula because the first one might be hard to get down for 0. So I'll just grab this 2. This 4 would be great, but man, these wand makers are so good if you're hitting Draconic Studies. I'm gonna just take them all. I don't care. We'll take a Conjurer too. Conjurer gets better with Cathedral. A little buff there. I don't really want Thrive at all, really. I will pass one of these 2s. I think we're doing okay now. Let's grab a Thresher, just a thing to do in the mid game. Wow, Egg is actually kind of good too. We have 1 buff plus Cathedral, 2 buffs. It's not a bad thing to have either though. If I had 2 Cathedrals, I think I'd take the Egg. Missing a Sire. This deck is OP. This deck is really, really good. Oh, I like this card a lot. Oh, it's a dragon. It's a drafted dragon for us. Let's do that. Take the 2s or take the Seance? Honestly, I think we can take a Seance just because of how much ridiculously large amount of early game stuff we do have to do. More wand makers, sure. Brittlebone I think is better than Sin Runner. We have the Raised Dead. We're a priest, right? I actually wouldn't mind any of these 3 cards, but let's grab the Brittle. And I'm gonna slam this Claw Machine too. Yeah, this deck looks incredible. I would not be surprised to see this deck do incredibly well. These days, Hearthstone in 2022, I would not be surprised to see it go 0-3 to a couple of Yseras or Nathrias. I would be very disappointed though. I've been playing Played Up non-stop for 2 days. Thanks. F off for getting me addicted. Are you playing by yourself? I thought about playing a little by myself today, but then I was like, it's probably not anywhere near as fun. I can't imagine it's even close to as fun by yourself. I can't get past day 12. Dreads and I only got to day like 3 or 4. I play solo and it's quite hard. It did look dope. It was a lot of fun. I actually watched Hafu play a little bit. I mean, I didn't watch a ton, but I like peeked in because I know Hafu's been playing, and I saw her restaurant and it had 17 rooms. She was playing solo, I think. She was just like killing it. Now Hafu's like a god tier gamer, so. Oh, that's a good card. I think I want the Raised Dead. I think this deck can have the problem of having too much removal, even though we don't have much in our hand right now. I wouldn't be surprised if 2 or 3 turns from now we just kind of feel like we have nothing to do.
I suppose.
But yeah, so I was watching Hafu play and I was like, oh, like, it's like I can't play now because I'm never gonna be that good and it's gonna be hard. So it's kind of a little more fun. But I didn't want to watch too much, actually, because I was like, well, what if Dreads and I play again? I kind of like to be surprised by it. Didn't Hafu used to do Arena? Yeah, Hafu was a great Arena player. She actually was playing off and on a bit of Arena this year. I think she actually made a leaderboard semi-recently. I forget what her account name is. I don't think it's Hafu anymore.
As long as it keeps out arrows.
But I think Hafu actually played a fair amount of Arena this year. Did you enjoy Played Up more than I thought I would? Yeah, I did. But I didn't really, you know, contrary to popular belief, I didn't really think I wasn't going to enjoy it. I didn't think I wouldn't enjoy it. I just, like, playing with dreads at 7 or 8 is tough for me because a lot of times I'm taking like a little nap before the stream at that time. Heal here, I can heal here. I think I'll just heal here. So like yesterday I was really tired because we played up and I was hungry. So it's hard scheduling wise, but I did enjoy it more than I thought. Did he just course a 4-1 instead of daggering? It's an odd decision. But yeah, I did enjoy it more than I thought I would.
Once upon a time.
Actually just gonna take a bookworm.
Once upon a time.
I guess we're just gonna take a Deathwing. He's gonna draw cards here, I think. He's not. He's got a Plagiarize. Well, hopefully he doesn't have a dragon, I guess. I think the opponent wasted the coin on turn 3 because they thought they could trigger their own secret. Oh, I wasn't really paying attention. It's a Malchazar.
Once upon a time.
And he has a couple of Yaceras now, maybe, which is kind of a problem.
Once upon a time.
I'm glad I have a Deathwing. I want to Nova. I don't really care about Novaing, right? I guess I could shoot his guy or whatever.
Let reading dragons lie.
I just don't want to give him a thing.
It's mine.
I don't want to spend 1 mana to give him a 3/4. Whose dragons will be the most dragony? Hey Bill, hey Bull, hopefully mine. We have a lot of them. We'll have more dragons than him. And then sometimes you just put this pressure on people and they can't get a Ysera down, right? He's going second, he's at 15 or whatever. Beer Master 4000, thank you for the follow. I'm hoping we can get a buttload of new followers today. Always nice to get a buttload.
Drink with me, friend.
I believe you're dunking a very new player. Why I didn't want to do that. You know what they should do? They should give Redbeard like a pass. You know what they should do? This would be actually kind of cool. Just like every new player, if you lose to Redbeard, you just don't get a loss. It doesn't count. Gabriel's a gamer. He played Ticketmaster and then drew the ticket. That's pretty good. I didn't even realize I had Alex.
And the cycle of life is
I just think they probably wanted their spider friend. Seems fair, yeah. If you lose to Redbeard, Redbeard gets the loss instead. Well, I don't like that. If a new player beats you, you get 2 losses. Wait, why am I getting more punished the more that this idea? It's like all positive for the person losing to me, but now I'm getting extra losses just for winning? That doesn't make sense. How about this? So everybody I beat doesn't get a loss on their arena.
Randa versus Thrall.
And every win I get takes 10 gold away from Dreads. Just takes it away from him. What's this, Tavern Brawl? Everybody's got Malchazar? Taking 2? If he's taking 2, does that mean I'm more likely to coin out a 2 or not? Means I'm not going to have a target for penance, right? So he does nothing, then I coin, but then he does something. Maybe I will have... Oh. Okay. Well, I guess we hold the coin then. Kill them and then spawn a spider to eat their corpse. Oh, what? Why am I doing that?
I see a vision in the flames.
I think I just want the smite. I don't really need an 8 cost, like, shitter. Thanks again to the Beermeister for the follow, by the way. And if anybody, I know people don't like to, but if anybody wants to help me out, maybe, and head over to YouTube, maybe leave a comment or something. That usually helps me. The last couple of videos are just taking a big dump.
Prophecy.
Let's just trace it. I don't know, leave a comment or something maybe. Or maybe subscribe to the YouTube or something. Just trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. And then we're gonna retire forever. Are you going first and drawing a location? Oh, I went second. To be fair.
You don't pick the ones.
Just gonna get this down.
I'm a friend of the Messiah.
I appreciate that in advance, bag 1. I get a few Pokemon boosters tomorrow. I usually keep the hollows and the good cards and chuck the rest. It's wasteful, but meh. Just give them to some poor kids or some. Give it to some sweet kids that want to play Pokemon. Let's buff this guy. How many cards do I have? 9 up to 10. I can kill that.
The wand picks you.
I think I just will. I know I spawned something for him. But what are you gonna do? I gotta get through it at some point. And then next turn we can coin out Murzon if he gives us anything here. Just give him to the local library and they'll give him to the kids. I get a few. Oh, I already read that. You need the dragon for Nether Spite? Do I though? I think I've got a couple more dragons in the deck. Just gotta raise dead. We've got time. We've got a million things to do. Oh my god.
Brilliant. Were you followed?
I should have paid attention. I don't even know what he's playing. Plague of Murlocs? Value generating 3-4. Yeah, that one's incredible. I'm excited for D&D tomorrow. Who are you playing with? Pokemon update 0 for 2 with 2 duds. But we opened the dud packs and now we have an Evolving Skies and 2 Brilliant Stars. And then we have the same collection of packs from a second tin. But we got these for $13 each, so you know, at the end of the day, like, burn that out too much, which is kind of nice. What the fuck did I just burn? What the fuck did I do wrong? What the fuck did I do wrong? A wand maker. I don't want to draw any more goddamn cards. Alright, let's do something like this. That guy's good.
Once upon a time.
That guy can be good. So what am I doing with my turn? I just want something out of my hand. But they come with guaranteed little Pokemon. Now we may already have a couple, a dozen of these. It doesn't matter, we need more. We need more, because one day I'm going to be buried in a pile of evolutions, and that's how I'm gonna die. Sylveon, I love Sylveon. Sylveon and Leafeon and Glaceon are my favorites. But I like all of them. What did he do? Just that. Okay. Well, I personally don't see any way in which this could go poorly for me. Do we want to draw? Let's just draw. Trade me some extras. Oh, you can have them. Do you need extras? I got extras. I'm certain. I'll do some sorting before TwitchCon, and then I'll bring you, we can talk, and I'll just bring you whatever you want. Put them in a little, like, baggie, maybe. Hello, Redbeard, I have arrived. I've been watching some amazing content on HBO. I think everybody should sign up today. Boy, we got 0 new people, but I think that the issue is that a lot of people have it already. And that it's not counting, apparently it doesn't count resubscriptions, And it's not available in a lot of locations. Honestly, I think we could probably take down the banner at this point. What did he play? Okay. Bomb that thing. Did he evolve into that? No. Cast it. For real, of course. It's okay. You need them. You need them. If you need them, then you gotta have them. Druid, Warlock, Warrior. We just played a Warlock. Why couldn't you give me that quest earlier? HBO isn't available where I'm at. I'd actually be interested otherwise. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, at the end of the day, like, these things, when people download the games or buy the services, it's extra money on top of like a negotiated deal to have the banner up and to talk about it the first day. And it's nice when you can hit those goals and they, you know, to get a little extra money. And it's nice because they'll be able to like kind of be like, oh wow, like this is somebody we want to work with. But it's never like, oh man, like we didn't reach a goal, so we got nothing, and it was a waste of time or whatever. It's never really like that. And I hate just tempoing that, but I think this deck could just, you know, stall and just do nothing, right?
Greetings.
That why we haven't heard you say shows selected by humans since the first day? Yeah. Yeah. We had a paragraph to read, or like 3 or 4 sentences, 8 times. That was kind of the deal. And it was such an easy one. You know, normally it's like, you know, you play 2 hours of sponsored gameplay, or sometimes 4, kind of negotiating a price per hour. And sometimes, you know, whatever. I mean, those are always easy, but this is easier. Sometimes it's just you don't even talk about stuff. You just put a banner below the stream. But also just goes to the website. We've ever had a promo code with a good intro deal and some kind of pop-up that says like, wow, we're so glad that Redbeard, you're here. We're psyched to hang out, watch cool shows with ears, $20 off, not your fault. But if they want it to work better, they can hire me. Yeah, so that's for sure. Like promo codes help with those type of things. Ionis, thank you for the follow. Ionis99. Can you read it again for extra credit? Yeah, I could. And if, you know, whatever, if we're at 9 out of 10 for the goal or whatever, then yeah, maybe you, maybe you're a little more, wow, that's the best draw in our deck. Maybe you're really pushing that stuff a little harder, you know, day to day.
Wow. Because
you're kind of at that point, like, working for yourself. They want, you know, those goals achieved and whatnot. It's better for them. Let me go face. If he has a cathedral, and it doesn't, you know, it's pretty bad for us. You're a Redbeard viewer? You must have an awesome hog. Enter your info for sign up for HBO Max. Well, we acknowledge that this was a possibility, so I can't get too mad, but at the same time, I'm a little mad. Now I'm happy. You know you're a good streamer when people watch you and they don't really give 2 shits about Arena. Everybody gives 17 shits about Arena, it's the best. There's nobody that doesn't care about Arena in the world. I just assume they're all watching a different Arena streamer right now. One I haven't discovered yet. What I like about this is it clears his board, draws me a card, the card is huge, and I corrupt Pearl Tusk. I left a few kind words on your most recent videos. Thanks, Bag1. Okay, I give 1 shit. I'll take it. I come for the schlong talk. Well, you're in the right place, my friend. My schlong-tastic friend.
You don't pick the ones.
They should let me go first every game. I should get a cathedral every game. And I should top deck Power Word Feast.
A mistake.
Whenever desired. Which is exactly what happened in the first 3 games. This poor guy. Yeah, I mean, we acknowledged before we played a game, halfway through the draft, how powerful this deck was shaping up to be and how powerful it turned out to be. As I mentioned, I think this deck is more, you know, and I don't say that often, right? I think this deck's more likely to go 12 wins than 3-3 or less. And most decks obviously are not likely to go 12, even when they're good. This deck can beat a Ysera or a Denathrius or a Mage Location, etc. A lot of decks do not have the capability of doing that. This deck definitely does. And we might go 3-3. It's, you know, not to say that it can't lose, but oftentimes you'll draft a deck and it won't have the capability of beating a Wild Seed card on 2. I think this deck could.
Greetings, traveler.
Blessings to you.
Yeah, our curve is pretty cheap here. You seem to put your stream on turn 1, so I'm glad you dunked him. Yeah, I think he was putting the stream on turn 1. So many 10 to 12 voters, I had to exploit them. I'm sending in the drones at 7. Full mulligan for double Draconi or location. I don't think we want to do that, because I think what really is more likely to contribute to a loss is starting with like a Raised Dead, a Death, and a Seance, or a Keymaster, and an Identity Theft, and a Penance, and you're just not developing anything, right? Card's kind of insane with Powerword Feast if it lives. You know what? There's a cool song.
Let me work my magic.
It's bad for me.
You don't pick the one, silly. You don't pick the one, silly.
You don't pick the wand, silly. What do you pick? The owl? You don't pick the wand, silly. Everything but the vocals reminds me of a few songs for the Midnight Club Los Angeles soundtrack. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
The wand picks you.
I don't want to silence it because I don't want him to be able to go in here. You mean from the band The Midnight, from the album Los Angeles? Is that an album? Or is this like a movie called The Midnight Club Los Angeles? Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. Really gets people going. My mind is literally spinning like a top. A video game soundtrack. Oh, okay.
The wand picks the wand picks.
Go up to 4. I can make a 4-6.
That didn't quite hit the mark.
Be best if you just were quiet right now. 4. 2-4.
The wand picks.
I'm a friend of Messiah.
Will Visitor make Keymaster free? He would make the Keymaster drawn card free if we played this and then held that and then played that. Change my oil. Anybody want to get drunk and go for a drive? No, don't. You mean somebody else is going to get drunk and you're going to drive them sober? We certainly don't condone drunk driving. Not a chance. Hello, refined, gentle people in Redbeard. One thing I really hate is drunk driving. Just get a Uber.
Feet of strength. Arms of strength.
If it was the ice cream truck, well, I still wouldn't drive drunk.
Open yourself.
The wand picks.
Magic.
Big money, big money. Probably gonna get a 1-drop. I always get a 1-drop from this card. Wow, not a 1. It's great. This could cost 6 and this will cost 2. He plays it.
Well fought. I concede.
Just get a Uber. The wisest words I've heard from Redbeard. 10 out of 10. Great advice. Yeah. Really no excuse. Uber's cheaper than a lawyer? Oh yeah, I mean, but it's not even a question, right? And I don't think Sin's really suggesting driving drunk. I hope not. But don't drive drunk. As somebody that likes to partake in a whiskey and a cola from time to time, it's dangerous. It's needlessly dangerous.
Taranda versus Taranda.
Take the $10,000 gamble. But don't even worry about the money.
The goddess
Just worry about hurting somebody. And your ability to not do that. And then you can have an extra drink. And you can pay an Uber driver. And they can make a little money. And they can take you home. Make sure you get home safely. 15 bucks is well worth it to make it home safe. And everybody else is safe. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. I think I'm going to take this. Could take this. Let's just be conscientious of our curve. Unfortunately, we can't coin 3 into 3. But I could coin one of these out. Uh-oh. I've seen this play before. Alright, can I have my Alexstrasza back? They will stop for beer if you tip well. Okay. That's not as bad as Cathedral. It's bad, but honestly, it's not as bad. Still bad, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually gonna hit here. Give me a little better chance to go into those, maybe. I drove many drunks home for Uber. Just don't puke in the car. Yeah, don't puke in the car. Don't get so drunk that you're gonna puke either, would be some of my advice. If I had any. You'll be uncomfortable and probably continue to bite it. It's a nagging injury. Which one? Sorry? Oh, someone else? Charles? What happened to Charles? Exploded sphincter again. I bit my cheek while eating pizza yesterday, and now my cheek is all swollen. How do I fix this? How hard did you bite your cheek? Good lord. I wish you didn't do that. We're just getting walloped here. I suppose I can corrupt that. Let's kill this dingus. It's a big card. I'm the Uber driver, and I am drunk as well. Nobody drive drunk, okay?
I'm one of a kind.
I can kill that. I can't get another copy of it. That's okay. Because I'm trying not to die here. I bit it with my molar. So anytime I open my jaw, it stings. Wash your mouth out with an antiseptic. Give me help. No death. Give me help. He gets something bad, but good. Sure. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Puts us to 12.
You get the goods. I'll stand watch.
I need a little help. This Nova's not very good. I could Draconic Studies here.
I'll stand watch.
Make that cost 0. I can steal one of his guys, but they don't help me either. Let's look. It's a good card. Doesn't help us much. Let's play this. Let's hit here. I guess I'm doing that. To try not to die right now.
You get the goods. I'll stand watch.
Okay, okay. He can give my guy health and summon a Gigantor Taunt. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He can put us down to 7. Murzon Boon is the nuts. It's definitely good. We can play this, this, and that. See, he could have put it on our guy. So I think that's what he should have done. So he could have got a 9-11 taunt this turn. So I want to heal. I don't think I'm actually even gonna play Murazond here.
Your purpose awaits.
So I could have played that.
Unlock your mind!
Actually can't take off that much power, unfortunately. I could have got that down.
Someone's coming.
And, you know, honestly, we're not gonna hit. And somebody here is gonna tell me why we didn't hit, okay?
Share your thoughts with the class now.
Why it's unquestionably better to not hit him. Brittle Bone. So if you hit him, he can activate his Brittle Bone, and if he Brittle Bones your 9, then you can lose. But otherwise, whoa. I just realized what happened here. You've taught us well, Beardo. Yeah, it doesn't do me any good. And then hitting a minion, there's not really a point, I don't think. It's actually a really good turn for him. I don't know if it'll matter, but it is very good for him. He could have seanced. Oh no, he couldn't seance first. Interesting.
Share your thoughts with the class now.
I'm so confused with what just happened here. 18, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I need 1 damage. 18, 28.
Faithless. Someone's coming. Someone's coming.
Maybe damage exists in the opponent's hand or on their board. Absolutely disgusting win. What we mentioned when we got offered the Keymaster, right? Just the overt power. An unanswered Keymaster will... Yeah, they misplayed though, pretty hard. We were actually not in a great spot if they boon our Keymaster there. We'd have to run our Keymaster into the taunt and then something else. We didn't have a death in our hand. We didn't have any damage from hand. So we'd have to use our board. Just seeing your curve for the first time. Fun value-driven deck despite having all the 2s in the world. Yeah. A lot of 2 drops that add a 2 to your or add a card to your hand, or you know, serve a different sort of function than just being like a crappy 2. Let's give him a wow.
Brilliant.
What the hell? So we'll get his Nathria later, right? So we're gonna play this here and then studies Doctor, almost certainly. Well played anyway. Take the champ. Take the compliment. Oh yeah, I mean I don't really have a choice. But I try to help people, even with good decks like this, kind of understand like what makes the deck good, why we're winning. Sometimes it's very straightforward, but sometimes it's not. I changed my mind. I want to get that off the board. We could do other stuff. Yatar is the best legendary. It could be good. I really like this if he's just like trading and pinging and skipping his turn. I'm a big fan of this interaction.
You don't pick the one.
On another one of these. Swap for his Theatar. Maybe later. Theatar, I think in Arena specifically is a lot, I mean probably in Constructed too, but it's just a lot better. I'll probably pick up a death here. I hate this game. He's a lot better when your opponent has a smaller hand. You can get all the info of what's in their hand. And you can then just take their best of their 3 cards instead of maybe the best of the 3, and they might be their 3 worst cards, right? Hello, you sexy people. Hey, Cooley. Someone on the Arena subreddit thinks it's bonkers while it's just average.
You don't pick the one.
A Theatar on average is probably below average for Arena. He's probably a below average legendary. What is the Redbeard ASMR stream? Could be now. Hurt my legs though when I'm sitting. Opened up on my phone and I got 9 ads. Hey, would you rather, let me ask you a question, bag one. Would you rather get, oh my neck, I think I just pulled a muscle. Would you rather get a smaller block of ads more frequently or a larger block of ads? And the opposite of whatever the hell I just said. Use this to kill both. How about no ads? Twitch doesn't allow me to do that, unfortunately. I would do that if I could, actually. The ad revenue is paltry, and I'd rather people not miss out on anything. I think the larger ads, you can just tab out until they're gone. Yeah.
I wonder.
But we play a big block every hour, so Twitch plays fewer ads interspersed throughout the stream. But I could do smaller blocks every half hour. 1 ad in between games, that's so much.
Wonder.
I don't love this. Cool shirt, thank you for the prime. Save style is decent. I got a big block in the middle of the game. You could play every 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, there's ways to do stuff like that, actually. It's just kind of, it's kind of cumbersome. It's kind of difficult.
Drink with me, friend.
Actually, you know, Evanito developed a program. We'll shoot this one, and we can silence the other one he plays, maybe. Evanito developed a program that Dog uses that will run it when the queue shows up automatically. Should actually probably talk to Ev and see if maybe we could, like a year or two ago, he talked to me about it. And Twitch didn't really push the ads in the same way at that time. And I was like, I don't know. Don't really, and it was just to run more ads. But now that Twitch is like so kind of inundated with ads as a default, having a program that could do it automatically. Twitch has its own program that can do it automatically, but I'm pretty sure Ev said that his could identify when like the screen was on a specific screen on the stream. The best fix is for everyone to subscribe to Redbird so nobody has ads. That's the ideal way to handle it, in my opinion. But I understand not everybody can sub, so I'm not like, you know, I'm not trying to like poo-poo anybody or anything like that. Take another one. Check this out.
Your purpose awaits. Not my goal.
It's a nice My concern about going to official commercial break is that there's less opportunities for you to get up and knock over all the Pokemon cards. I don't knock over all of them, just some of them. GG, this, you could play a rabbit or a puzzle box or something. Maybe be alive.
Time may pass, but the dream is eternal.
Most people who take breaks between games run ads, then I think this is the best timing. But you don't take breaks. No breaks, never any breaks. 8 plus 8 is 16. 8 plus 8 equals 16. I'm not gonna lie, I sort of forgot about that card. But what I can do is put him to 8. And it should be fine. As long as he doesn't heal. Dream? Dream, but then I can't play Alex anyway, right? It's fine, just getting him to 8's the big deal. You could play it safer there though, and that's probably smarter, and just keeping your Ysera on board and just developing a board. Then he puzzles or flame strikes, then you stick something, then you hit him, and etc, etc. Dream would spawn another one, yeah. Dream Ogremancer. Yeah, Dreaming Ogremancer still spits out 2 2s, which doesn't really help your problem.
I will prove myself to you.
I mean, realistically, we don't really have a problem. Putting him to 8 while you have a Pyroblast in your hand is fine. Spawn a 2/2? Yes, it does, yeah. How often do you think Priest can high roll dragons? Like, how often... Are you asking me how often can Priest draft a deck with Draconic Studies? Like 30%, 40% of Priest decks have 1 Draconic Studies? Or are you asking me what are the odds of 1 Draconic Studies high rolling a dragon? Which I would guess is probably higher than 30% or whatever. 45% of decks have 1 Draconic Studies in them on average. Or whatever. The average Priest deck has 1.3 copies of a Draconic Studies. Some decks have 0, but decks like ours have 2. I'd rather add a 2/2 to the board. It'd give it Reborn, but I think I'll hold off. This type of decks are my favorite because so many paths to take and so many discovers, and it showcases why Paladin is boring. Yeah. Yeah, it does. And it's not, again, I always stress, it's not just that the cards are so overtly powerful, which they are, which makes it more fun, and you get better results, and winning is more fun than losing, Draconic Studies. But even things like identity theft or seance, or, you know, there's this misguided notion, in my opinion, that people will kind of be like, oh, you just discovered this, you just discovered this card, so you won. But I think the discover cards favor the more experienced and the more savvy players. The more choices that you get to make, the better, the more advantages a better player is going to be able to kind of accumulate over the course of the game. Like if you're just playing a 2-mana 2/2 and then a 3-mana 3/3 and then a 4-mana 4/4, and your opponent's playing a mage location and a Ysera, like you have a 0% chance to win. But if your opponent's playing a mage location or whatever, a big dragon, like you can discover a death or a Shadowward Ruin or a light spawn, or not light spawn, light bomb. Like you can find tools to be responsive, and I think that that's more interesting than just being stuck hoping you go first.
I wonder.
But that's just my opinion, man. I can zap, shoot. I think I can even still do this, right? Alright, so let's shoot him. Zap him. Clap him. I'm gonna hit him in the face. We got the refill with the Ysera now. Is it worth using your 3 removal spells here? I think so. We're going first. We're putting pressure on him, and now especially that we have a Ysera in hand. Get a copy of that. I kind of wish I had a removal spell again. Why don't I just draw one?
It's mine! It's mine! It's mine!
I think I like that. I don't necessarily want to play the Ysera next turn. I don't want to have to play the Ysera. He could kill my Ysera. Seance is a long way away from seancing a Ysera. That's kind of bad for me. I could just plop the Ysera down now. I'll burn a card. I'm gonna take another 9, another 10 next turn, down to 14. Or I can play this and reborn it. Yeah, I'm not sure. This could be wrong. It could be just game winning though.
You possess true power.
Right, like if he just can't play around the Ysera. Maybe he trades the Ysera. I think it would be a mistake, but it would help me out, so I'm optimistic. Value. How good would a 2-mana 3/2 add a Murloc to your hand be? That card would be so good. That card would be incredible if your opponent didn't get one.
The end is coming!
Interesting. Does save him 4 health. We die to an Inquisitor, I think. Because of this.
Every nightmare must end.
I knew it!
But maybe it's our best bet.
Fine. It wasn't that big.
Don't quite kill. I mean, it's mostly just Inquisitor, right? But I can't really do anything about that.
I yield for now.
No Inquisitor. Makes Redbeard something. Smug Reborn would make a hand size issues for Ysera. Yeah, I don't think you really have to worry about reducing your need for Ysera in most instances. So the issue of burning a card or two, it becomes less relevant. Inquisitor seems like it limits Demon Hunter design space. They removed Leroy because it was a very aggressive finisher, but Demon Hunter has had Inquisitor for 5 years. Well, the funny thing is, I don't think for the vast majority of Demon Hunter's existence, Inquisitor's been a particularly common standard inclusion. I did run a big Demon Hunter deck, big Death Rattle Demon Hunter deck for a little bit to do my quests and to get closer to 1,000 Demon Hunter wins, and it did run Inquisitor, and it was quite important, and I think the deck was relatively, you know, top tier or whatever, but I don't think most Demon Hunter decks run it. These Relic decks don't seem to run it. Looking real quickly over the Relic Demon Hunter decks. Fell Demon Hunter deck. Doesn't even run it. So, as per usual, it's the Arena bozos who take the hit for 5 years. I'll burn you and your little card too. Hey, only bad puns. Sorry, man. Don't do that. You could Nightmare and avoid Inquisitor. I actually thought about it. It's whether, you know, you think your only way to lose is always get it back. I can have a 4/4. Won't have an easy way back into this if I use this on that. Hopefully no death, but well, I can't control if he has a death. Smite is a lot better than death for me. Better, but not great, but what are you gonna do? Play that. Yeah, I'm not that low. I'm low-ish, but I'm not that low. If he's double trading and then healing, I can penance too. I can do stuff. Sure. That's not good at all for me. I just realized it comes back twice. That's insane. Okay, okay. Kill that Nova next turn. Could raise dead, penance, and play the 4 and then buff it again. I think that's probably safer. I don't know if it'll yield the results we want, but it's probably safer. I mean, how many perfect answers could he have? He's already had 2. Could have, I suppose, 3. What's good is that doesn't allow him to trade and push any damage. Now he might have another card. He might draw a card, but
You have to read this.
interesting. Oh, and he's just double trading. Oh, and he's buffing that. Okay. Okay. It's not so bad. Could drop the Keymaster down. Yeah, I think we just do that then. It's actually kind of insane if he did empty his hand and draw a bunch of cards. It'd be easy to corrupt for us. To Redbeard's opponent, I imagine they will always have another perfect answer. Well, he only had 2, it seems. Don't hate that either. Certainly not the worst outcome. I think what we do now is... Actually, I don't know what we do.
You're not laughing. Unlock.
Hit there, could hit there. Heal my face. Just squeeze in a heal maybe.
Unlock your mind.
Is he really gonna dump his whole hand here? Probably not. I could buff this one, but I don't want him to be able to death it. Reborn the Claw Machine? How am I reborning?
You're not laughing.
Pardon me?
Unlock your mind. Why so serious?
That minion already attacked.
I thought you had the reborn spell? No, not right now. Claw Machine was fine too, I think. Fine-ish. Just clunky. I'd rather be getting minions on the board that can live through combats rather than 6, 12, 16. I don't have lethal, do I? I don't think so.
Magic is not a toy.
That one will be mine.
Why so serious? Unlock your mind.
Battle of 7-0 Priest is proving to be an exciting match. I think, weird. Or outclassing him. Not through any fault of their own. I think we went first. We have good cards. What did Pirate Warrior, but what about the Undertaker lock? What's the question? Sorry?
It is finished. You win.
Oh, most oppressive meta. Sorry, I never know when there are things going on here. Caverns Below Rogue. Most oppressive deck? I don't know. Probably, for me, I probably would go Caverns Below. I did play some Constructed when Caverns Below was around. Oops, I'm gonna skew the talking. But I hated that one. I hated playing it, and I hated playing against it. I actually played some Pirate Warrior probably to like get my quest done or whatever. I love Jade Druid, and I liked Secret Paladin. I actually played that one. You know, I think I played a little more Constructed in the past. You know, I guess that's fair. In my first, month, 2, 6, I don't know. I didn't play Arena all the time. I was actually intimidated by the thought of playing Arena initially. I didn't really understand. I thought I was like playing. I thought I had to fight people in real life. On the pole, Redbeard. Sorry, I didn't even see. Yeah. It's kind of nice to have the extra health. But if he plays like a 3-2 or something, it doesn't really matter if we're going to play this. If he does nothing, I think I will play that. If I pick up an Identity Theft or Cathedral, let's say Cathedral, that'd be preferable. Hey, our first deck went 9, and this deck's at 8. Damn, that's so good. I have to do this then. Fine, we can do it later. We can go 4 on 4, and then 3 and 2 on 5, which is also kind of sick.
This only works on a simple mind.
I'm gonna ignore that. Nah, I'll probably just draw a Cathedral and free trade it. If you were going to get a Comic-Con, if you're going to a Comic-Con and had to go all out for a cosplay, what are the top 2 characters you'd play? Like all out? I have no idea. Like the most, like intricate, slimy, alien tentacle monster. Who's that? I'd go as Octosari from Hearthstone.
Schmucks get stuck in the muck.
Yeah. Yeah. At least the Trailblazer. I go as Octosari. Great answer. You'd make a fine Octosari. Intricate, slimy tentacle monster. Are we talking about dreads here? Who else? I got 2. Who's my other choice? Alright, so I picked one sexy monster. So I want to be like one sexy anime babe. I'd go as Mona from Genshin Impact, okay? How's that for you? How's that for you? Can't hurt myself. What if I get a Raised Dead from his hand?
I wonder.
Then I can. What if I get a Raised Dead from my own deck? So many good cards. I don't think it really matters what we're doing.
You will regret this.
I am a friend of the Messiah.
I want another copy of this. Let's just play this. Holy moly, what a hand. Wait, did he have Mass Hysteria? Do I just remember that? No, we didn't see Mass Hysteria. Oh, the Ysera's from the Draconic, though.
Once upon a time.
I thought her name was Moan. Now I know it's Mona. That makes more sense. The Goonies? I don't want to go as Sloth. Ugh. Looks gross. What would I go as? They're just kids wearing clothes. Kids wearing old 80s clothes. I mean, most of my clothes are old and they look like they've been worn since the 80s. 'Cause I don't know. 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 I Yeah, we drew perfectly that game, right? We drew the... This game has really come down to like having, like this deck, a lot of time is just having a 2 and then drawing a Power Word Feast. It's at least the second time we like instantaneously quote unquote won the game, but like looking back, like we couldn't lose based off the way the game's played out from having that. Maybe 3 times it's happened, like just outright. But we've cast it like 4, 5, 6 times this round. Sloth? I don't want to go dress as Sloth. Maybe I'll go as Mama Fratelli. Do you boys like tongues? How was that? Was that a good Mama Fratelli? What else did she say?
Don't keep your
I might just rip this dude. Pick up a 5. Okay.
You will regret.
Shame on you. Oh no. The Totem Master over here. Such a scam. Such a scam.
Followed.
Just do Castaway and carry around a coconut. He had a volleyball, not a coconut. What the hell are you talking about? I'm going all out on this cosplay. I'm not carrying a coconut. Don't shit on Elven Archer. I'm shitting on Elven Archer. I don't even get a 2 mana discount. I only get a 1 mana discount. What are the odds? Let me tell you. Low, I'm sure.
I see a vision in the place.
Am I gonna regret not having a death? Maybe. Cute furry animal that hangs from the trees and has long nails. Not a koala. What is it? Sloth.
Where you followed.
It's golden. Yeah, but it's only golden because my card was golden. They probably have a non-golden Elven Archer. Isn't it pronounced sloth? I could be wrong. I'm English. We call it sloth.
Everybody's happy till the muck starts.
This is well timed on this straw. I can heal, trade. Oh, I can't ping though. You could evolve that, but this can deal more damage. Eh. I know he has a big minion there. Bigger minion. I don't know that he has an evolve, right? I only fear that he has an evolve. Kill this. Sloth is cracking me up. Sloth because they're slow, right? Why wouldn't it be? You're definitely pronouncing it wrong. Fun fact about sloths, they climb down their trees very slowly to defecate. Why? They don't want to drop bombs from up above? I could ping that. I can shoot that. Do I really care? I might. I could get a smite, and I think I'd rather smite though. 1 mana deal 2 instead of a card that can deal 102 for 1.
One shot.
Get this turd off the board. And then you know what? Let's just take more cards now. And buffing doesn't seem to really matter either. Ding, freedom. Dong. Better schools.
It seems you need another lesson. Come forth, my brood.
How dare you? Light gray. Thank you for the follow, Light Gray. Stop your whining. God dang it. Wanted no taunt. I could kill this. I think it'll be okay, but still. Should I bother killing that? Stack Bonkers? It's a very strong deck. Good penance. This Cretan. Spider Boy. Can go up to 6. Puts it out of range, I guess. But yeah, the deck's very strong.
A charming composition.
I can kill that for 1. I can play a Mage Scribe. Boltsman? Are we going 12-0? We're gonna try. Looks like we have a chance. I mean, I could Bloodlust. I could double Bloodlust this next turn for all we know. On that note, I probably don't care that much about finding a dragon this turn. I would rather have a spell that I can cast. Maybe remove some of this hubbub. I think I want to smite that.
You don't pick the ones.
Sure. Coin appeared on top of taunt. I was like, what? Sorry, you're talking about what? To Huna?
One shot.
Oh yeah, our nemesis. Okay, light bomb does what? It doesn't do shit here. Oh god. Okay, I actually can't remove much here. I could silence it, but then I can't kill it. Bookworm? Dragon.
Once upon a time.
Alex. Shoot. Trade. I feel safer now. One of the coins on the board was visible on top of the taunt on the right side. God damn it, Bobby. God damn them coins. This deck is cheating. We only have 10 wins. Come on. Come on. Give it those sweet farts. This is a Dreads level deck. This is what happens when we get a deck that approaches Dreads level.
The forest fights back. The loon gives me
Or just in the vicinity. Probably not quite as good as, you know, his average deck, but just in the same, you know, getting on the streamer server. This was a chat draft, right? Yeah, this was a chat draft. Alright. This deck is so good, even Dreads could get 6 wins with it. True. He might go face. He might trade in hero power. Actually, that would be kind of bad. Uh-oh. Alright, need some help here.
You don't pick the ones.
Didn't get it. After yesterday's disastrous decks. Wait, yesterday we went 8, 8, 9.
Was not
Wouldn't consider it altogether disastrous, would you? Would you?
I don't have enough mana.
We had a couple 3-win decks that were like 6 or 7 win quality, but wasn't like disastrous. Did you play poker? I like poker, but sometimes I don't get lucky. I did play a little bit of poker back in the day. I found it very fun. Disaster is just a state of mind. That's true. So true. I feel like this game we may lose. What I don't like is our complete and utter inability to win the game if he plays Harbor Up this turn. And that's that. Is the HBO counter working? I feel like surely somebody has signed up. It's only counting new accounts, and apparently only I think US accounts can access it. So no Canada, no European. If you're like, some people renewed, but apparently it doesn't count that.
Here for a good time.
Gotta kill that 1/4, but I'm not entirely sure that brittle boning it is worth it. I can copy that and reduce it, try to set that up. I could play the 4, which maybe takes some pressure off of us. I really need to hit this though is the problem, so that it dies. I guess if once the Drake is up, maybe it doesn't matter as much. So you seance it, you reduce it down to 3. You play the 2. We have a 2/3 and a 2/2, and this card in our hand that we're not gonna cast.
Wonder. You don't pick the ones. Eh?
Droder signed up with a new one, did he? Kappa. Thank you, Kappa. Okay, maybe he trades everything, and then we primordial. Or I suppose we could trade most everything, and then primordial. This doesn't seem like a great turn for him. We leave him with substantially less power if we do it this way. If you hit here and kill that, you leave him with 4 power, but no crooked cook. I think the cook is just, you know, he's done his thing. Shiba boy, thanks for the follow, Shiba boy. Could brittle that. What the hell is that card? What the fuck? Pardon my language, but what the fuck is going on here?
I see a vision in the flames.
I helped someone, I'm back now for a bit. Welcome back, Ellie. It's wonderful to have you here. Can you turn on CC for me? Can you turn on CC for me? What does that mean? Sorry? Closed captioning? This druid has drawn an abundance of cards. Maybe that's okay. Got a little bit of breathing room right now. Treant Master. She can't hear you, she's working. It'd be funny if, or it'd be cool, but it'd be funny if Twitch had a closed captioning option. But they just did their best to sort of generate what you were saying. Those always yield pretty funny results.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
Riddle, heal, kill. I think I want a removal spell. Could just use this now. I was gonna use this, but I kinda dig just doing this. Clearing his board. I'm assuming he's running like with what he has in his deck, 4 Arbor Ups, and he just hasn't drawn one. There's an auto-generated CC add-on? Oh, is there? I should probably look into that just to see if it ever does anything funny. What time do I start? 9:30 PST PM. Like 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago usually.
Here for a good time.
Wow. It's got a lot of that card. Soul of the Force. Maybe they're not at 10-0 or 10 wins. You know, they might be like 8-2 or something. That's fascinating. It's basically free. I could get a copy of this for when these break, maybe.
I am a friend of Messiah.
You should add the CC and then people can watch you. Do I have to add it? I think people have to add it, or do I have to add it? Like an extension? How does that work? There's a plugin, Judge has one. My phone can make captions from my app's audio. Oh, so I need to add it? What's taking so long to win this match? Settle down, Skippy.
Time may pass, but the dream is eternal.
Let
Skippy, now I want some peanut butter. How many wins to break even in Arena? 7 to get your gold back. I think you need about 3.2 to get your value back at 100 gold for a pack. Plus, you'll get like 30 or 40 gold minimum for 3. You need to average slightly above 3 to break even on 150. But with the reward track, it's really easy to get an arena or 2 run a day. I was pretty civil. I think, you know, I've mentioned in the past, I think, you know, Dreads gets a reaction. They get a much bigger reaction out of Dreads, so I think when they do it, they're more inclined to like keep doing it to him. And I'm just more like, it's annoying, but at the end of the day, like, I understand it's unavoidable. Do you think Crit quit Arena because he was bored, because he wanted to play Battlegrounds? I think it's a combination of him not liking the direction that Arena's going in, lack of support, lack of maintenance, power creep. I think the ability to acquire a large viewership, maintain a large viewership base playing Battlegrounds probably helped. I'm sure he enjoys Battlegrounds. I think it's probably a multitude of factors. And then the fact that he did get sniped a lot, and there's an immediate scoring system, there's a leaderboard system, there's a much better, you know, Blizzard seemed to be much more willing to patch and balance and tweak the mode. And it's just, you can't really snipe him playing Battlegrounds in the same way, so I'm sure that's a big draw for somebody like himself. How did Blizzard reconcile the authenticity of the Hearthstone account and Twitch accounts, though? Well, they can see the same Twitch accounts, or sorry, the same Blizzard accounts queuing up into us at the same time. But yeah, the Twitch stuff is more like anecdotal, being able to like link it up there. It's just more evidence, but I'm sure if I queued into this person and then somebody in chat, Savage Brute, said, hey, this is me, I'm sniping you, and I reported them, I'm sure they would not instantaneously ban their Hearthstone account, right? Want to coin the 2 on the first turn. I like having a little flexibility with it. Coining a 2/2 into a 2 is not super, it's not a super strong play. I like having a little flexibility with the coin there. This is going to be hard to kill.
Once upon a time.
I might have to play these 2 next turn. I played a ton of Arena. I could see why he stopped. BG's is fun, but I hate having to relearn each new gimmick. Yeah, Battlegrounds is, I think, tough if you want to be like a super competitive high-level player. The RNG is very in your face, and it's through the roof. You have to play an exorbitant amount of time in order to have success in the game mode, which is not possible for a lot of people. And yeah, the core mechanics change quite often. Like the metas shift very frequently. Whereas in Arena, we get long blocks of the same cards, but like even if tomorrow the meta shifted, it's not as big a shift as changing the mechanics. You just change the sets and you learn the cards. And if you're playing consistently, you're going to know most of the cards. Most of the cards coming back are going to be familiar to you, and only one new set's going to be introduced.
You've got me fired up.
I don't know if I can even get away with that. Down to 6? So maybe I bought both of these? Maybe I hit one? I don't know. Maybe we're trying to set up a Penance and a Brittlebone, I think. You have to think much more quickly in Battlegrounds? I don't know if that's necessarily true. I feel like there's a lot of downtime in Battlegrounds. There's a lot of downtime in Arena too. Both modes, you sort of like use this time right now to start to figure out your turn. And in Battlegrounds, I think you can use the combat phase to kind of map out what you're doing on the next turn. But I think it's very common for people to like sit there and watch and be like, ooh, I'm watching it, and it doesn't matter, it's out of your control. But it's fun to watch. I mean, I get that. But I think utilizing the combat phase to map out your decisions is better. One of the hardest things to learn in Battlegrounds is learning how to close games out. It's hard to go from second to first a lot of time. In really, really high level lobbies, I think that's true. I think that that's one thing that separates the best of the best. Knowing which tech cards to pick up and when to hold them and when to like quote unquote go all in or play them, I think is very difficult.
Once upon a time.
I don't really want 2 Yaceras, but you know what? I'll take 2 Yaceras. The art of the pivot. I don't even think that there's so much pivoting in high-level battlegrounds anymore. When Murlocs and Bran and this type of stuff was super prominent, I think it was more common. But now it's like when to pick up the Mantid Queen, when to level and roll for Mantid Queens, when to pick up a Leroy, when to pick up a Tunnel Blaster or a Selfless, when to take out your 50/50 Divine Shield and put one of those cards in is not always as easy to figure out as it seems.
Time may pass, but the dream is eternal.
It's anticipating what your opponent has and pivoting. Yeah, I think initially there was like, you would just pivot to Murlocs in one turn. You would just buy up like a Bran and a couple of the Primal Fins and then try to roll a Megasaur, and then you would just end the turn. You'd start the turn with like no Murlocs, and then you'd end the turn with 5 or 6 Divine Shield Poisonous Murlocs. You don't really do that anymore.
Make them bleed.
Took me a long time to learn when to stop scaling, yeah, because it's fun to scale, so it's hard to identify when you should stop, I think.
Your blood for the sire.
Let me tell you a story.
So I can Awakens and Nova and play it too. It's kind of bad. Really don't want to take 10 though. I could dream one of those. Play an 8 or something like that. Kinda don't hate that. That's a lot of AoE to use.
I wonder.
Let's try to let's get a little bit of wiggle room for next turn. This is gonna be 12-0. Hello YouTube. Signed Elion. I don't know. This is clearly 2 very strong decks in a game that I would say is not decided at this point. Never stop scaling. Never. Never stop. We find ourselves in a pretty similar position, I guess. Just don't really want to play Awakens here. It doesn't feel very good. It's 7 damage. Let's start with something like this. Cards copied from my opponent cost less. I'm just gonna play this. He missed some stats off the buff, did he? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's got all 4 power minions, and he doesn't want me to get a Shadow Word Death. Interesting. I really like having 9. I could take his Malagos. What do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spells. His Malagos is kind of juicy for me. Which I really need to draw that many spells. But what else am I doing? I can Awakens and then Power Word Feast and go face. We need Seance for Ysera, do we? Won't I just get a 3rd Ysera from Draconic Studies? And I can play a 7 mana Malagos? And I can probably just raise dead my Ysera anyway, right? I mean, I'm kind of just assuming that all this good stuff's gonna happen, but why wouldn't it? I could leave that guy up. Wait, maybe I should have just Nova'd. Hiya Red, how you been? Pretty good, Psyche. How are you, man? Red's like a cat playing with his food. I don't think so. I don't feel that way. That's not even what I really want right now.
Time may pass,
Just throw it back, make him recast it. Can I kill him? Can I ever just like double nightmare? I go up to 4, 8, 12. It's really close, relatively close. I don't think I want to waste one.
Let me in.
Why didn't we do the 0 thing, then discount them? I'm not sure what that means. The 0 thing? Why no Mali into Sad for Onyxia? I'm not sure what that means either. I'm not familiar with the type of words I'm hearing. 4, 8, 12, 14. Could find lethal. Fairly, maybe not easily. 4, 8, 12, 13, 14. I need 3 damage? Shadow Word Death? I don't have Shadow Word Death. Oh, you mean to draw it and to get it? Our hand was pretty full. I'm not sure if you're even guaranteed to hit the death there, because our hand was so full. Just need 3 damage. And then we can Awakens if I don't get it.
I wonder.
This is lethal. 4, 8, 12. I hope I didn't miscount. Okay, 12-0 is the best score you can get. Thanks everyone for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. That was good. Like I said, we finished the draft and really strongly felt a 12 win was on the horizon. So 12-0 does not surprise me. Every game was easy. And that's that. That's that. Yeah, pretty good rewards too. Awesome run, not bad.